Welcome to a podcast of total terror. Night of the Nerdy Laser.
Welcome, everybody, to Night of the Nerdy Laser, episode 174. I'm your host, as always, Richard. Please don't hurt me. I have two kittens, Yule.
I'm Jeff Lown.
And to follow up last week's episode of Dead Snow, why, of course, we're talking about Dead Snow 2. Red versus Dead. And, Jeff, I just figured out tonight why it was called that.
Oh, yeah? No,
yeah, so red meaning Russia, because not really a spoiler. So there's some cool stuff in this one because it's more American than the first one.
Yeah,
because we have some American actors in it. One kind of big one, really.
You talking about the Silicon Valley guy?
Yeah, Martin Starr.
Yeah.
I mean, because I remember that character, but I hadn't, obviously Silicon Valley hadn't come out at that point, and because he plays Guilfoyle in that show, and he's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
But in this one, I mean, he has the same kind of glasses, and I was like, that looks like him, but that can't be him. And I was like, it sounds like him, everything, but that can't be him. And I looked it up, and sure enough, it was.
Yeah. Here's something. I thought I had seen this before, and I haven't.
You haven't? Oh.
No.
See, you're welcome.
Yeah, that's why we podcast.
It's for sure about the only reason these days. So, also, Derek Mears is in this. He's one of the zombies. I think I'm not sure who he is. I mean, I know the name of the zombie, but I don't know which zombie it is. So, but I'm guessing that is, that's where the Hansel and Gretel witch hunters thing comes in, because he was in that as well. He was
Stavarin.
Is that the Russia guy?
I guess.
See, that's what I don't know what their names are.
I mean, the names like Rudin, Starvin, Politan, Hanak. I get it. America, we're like, oh, that's Steve and that's John. Over there, they got names like that. I'm like, I don't know what it is.
Somebody was talking to me the other day, and they were like, yeah, my mom just wanted to name me something different, and I should have been like John. I mean, like nowadays, you ain't got nothing, you ain't got no normal names like George or Albert.
Have you seen that Key and Peele skit where he's the substitute teacher? And
I was just talking about that the other day.
So funny. Dude, those guys were hilarious. Like, they had some skits that were just like so perfect. Like
some are way funnier than that one even. Have you seen the one where the guy is on the plane? I saw this the other day when he gets upgraded to Economy Plus. Dude, you have to look it up, because Key is like playing the stewardess, and Peele is like he's just the guy, and he's like, sir, we're do you mind switching with this mother, but so this mother and daughter can sit together? And he's like, well, it's actually an upgrade to Economy Plus. He's like, Economy Plus, you say? And he looks at the chair, and it's just so funny. You have to watch it. It's pretty funny, and the way he's dressed is like it's just so funny. They're really good.
That pops up every once in a while for me is the one where they get hats and like they outdo each other.
Oh, so
yeah. He's like, hey man, how you doing? And they like high five or whatever, and he's like, what's that? and he's got the hat, and it's got like the sticker on it still. And then the other guy gets it with like in a case and like little one. He's like, I think he has like the people sewing the hats like together, and I'm like, how can they even come up with something like that? It's so stupid. Like, but it's funny because like you see that with like the hat culture or shoe culture and stuff like that, where they're like, oh, don't crease the shoe. It's like,
yeah,
I mean, you have to wear it. Like, don't bend the bill of your hat. It's like, At this point, you're just wearing art, like just
Dude, my
Yeah,
high
come
school,
on.
you could walk into a classroom and on the counter in the back, there would be fucking hats back there with the bill rolled up with rubber bands around them.
Yeah, we used to do that with baseballs in the bill and then rubber band it
Yeah.
to break in your hat.
Did you ever see the Key show, Schmigadoon?
No, but I remember that's an Apple one, and I remember you talking about it. And then you said you liked it up until the end, or
Now, I mean, I like the show. I mean, there is one hilarious song in there. Now, the second season is way better than the first, but then it got canceled. So
oh,
the second season is called Schmicago. The third season, I forget what it was going to be called. I don't know what it was going to be called. Schmint. I don't know.
Schmint Mobile. Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds will show up and be like, "Hey, none of that."
But it's a funny show. It's cute. I mean, it's a half hour long, and it's fine. I mean, it's not going to change your life or anything. But it's worth it. I'm watching Discovery of Witches right now with my wife. So
is that the AMC show? What's it about?
Yeah, something like that.
Witches?
Yeah, it was based on this book called Discovery of Witches, but there's a trilogy of books called the All Souls trilogy, and it's, I mean, on Netflix it says Outlander meets Twilight, and that is literally what it is.
Oh boy!
But it's fine. I mean, there's no werewolf. It's just witches, demons, and vampires. But really, it's just witches and vampires. I mean, the demons are in it, but they don't really do anything.
So it's Supernatural and Buffy and another
kind
one.
of. I mean, it's a little smuttier. I mean, you know, but
so it's True Blood.
Not that smutty. And in fact, I was talking to my wife about this because it's weird because like only the main characters are smutty, like nobody else is smutty to each other.
Just regular people chill.
Yeah, like I was like, is it only smutty with the main characters, or are the other characters smutty, or what?
Yeah,
but it's a fine show. It's only 3 seasons. It's fine.
What am I watching right now? I was watching a little bit of Game of Thrones again.
I order you to watch the Saved by the Bell episode, where the 2-part episode of The Mall for Christmas.
All right. Talk about.
I think it's called Home for the Holidays. I think.
Talk about it on Nerdy Laser.
I've already done that with Chris, but
well, I'm not Chris. I'm sorry.
Don't I know it?
Yeah, I know you hate me. Speaking of books, what have you been reading? I know we've been talking about a lot of books.
Yeah, I mean, well, I've been doing my audio thing with walking and listening to audiobooks. So I just finished My Heart is a Chainsaw.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine. I don't really like it. There's a lot of horror, like trivia in it. Like,
he's a name draw. He'll drop names because he's been on the podcast with Rebecca and Elric. Not Shockwaves, not Killer POV, whatever they're Colors of the Dark. And they'll just go on and on talking horror references and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and that's pretty cool. But in the end, made the rest of the book better, if that makes sense. But I think it's a trilogy, and I just haven't decided to go on with it. So
I think I'm going to jump into it. But I started that other trilogy you're a big fan of. Clown Cornfield. Yeah, revisited the first one. There was a few things I didn't really remember about it, so I am glad I went back. I got through that pretty quick, but then I started Adam's other book.
Dude, Kevin Durant as Arthur is going to be fucking amazing.
Yeah. Kevin's the greatest. Anyway, cool. I started Adam's other book, Influencer.
Oh, yeah.
It's going good so far. The guy could really write from, I think, like a modern teenager's perspective, which is weird. You know what I mean? Because I think of some of the stuff my friends, like sons and stuff, say, and I'm like, what are they talking about? So these are like a little bit more mature teenagers, like in this book, similar to Clown in a Cornfield. So
Yeah. I'm reading The Queen by Nick Cutter right now, so I'm enjoying
What's
it
that
so
about?
far. Well, I mean, if you look at the cover, I tried not to look into it too much, but then I looked at the cover and it's right there, kind of. But and the first chapter basically gives it away. But I mean, it's about a queen bee wasp thing.
Mm.
So, but like human.
Did you ever watch Yellow Jackets?
I mean, not the same thing, only by name. But I
Insect
watched the first
related
3
series.
episodes, and my wife was too scared of it, so we quit. And then I didn't watch anymore. And then I tried to rewatch it again, and I kind of got bored because I'd already seen the 3 episodes, but I didn't remember enough. But I didn't want to spend my time rewatching them. So no, and long term,
And to make things shorter, no.
yeah, no.
You should. I think I watched through the first 7 episodes or so, and then I kind of I didn't
Well,
have
the first season's on Netflix, so.
Yeah, I think it's on there and Paramount Plus or whatever
You
their
have to have
partner is.
Showtime on Paramount Plus.
Well, luckily, yes, I have that. But so I do want to catch that because I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good. Like I like the way it's kind of shifts time. It doesn't shift it. It's like split between 2
Yeah, I
time
mean,
periods.
it feels a lot like Lost, I
Yeah,
mean,
that's why I like it. I think
yeah.
it's a lot of the same things actually.
I'm telling you, if you've never watched The Leftovers, it's the best show, dude.
I'll watch it.
It's on Max. It's 3 seasons, and it's what Lost should have been.
Man, I don't know. Lost could have been a lot of things.
Well, it could have been better, is what it could have been. All right, I got show and tell.
So do I.
My show and tell
Boo.
is
Oh, sorry.
magazines. Yay!
Yeah. Those look like some rants from the Black Lodge magazines.
Yeah, rants from one. The other one's something else. So, Rants from the Black Lodge is a podcast. They've kind of taken a hiatus, but they did just put out the Ghoulies 2, I think. So you can still find their feed, and they've got great podcasts, great YouTube stuff. But I'm trying to see. It's not on the cover. Man, see, I knew I shouldn't have done it. No, I'm just kidding. No, me and Brandon are pretty good friends. I mean, Brandon's a cool guy. They always hang out with us at FrankenCon. And what makes this special is if you flip through. So, I mean, it's a legit magazine. Like,
I
I
see
mean, they
that.
spend a lot of time on it. I mean, the formatting is, brilliant. This one has Ghostbusters, the real Ghostbusters. So they
That'd be a
talk
fun
about
set
the
of toys
toys.
to buy.
Huh?
I said that'd be a fun set of toys to buy. I'm sure you used to have some.
Not as much. Not as much. I wasn't.
Really?
I was. Yeah, I wasn't really a fan. If I was professional, I would have had this saved, but I found it. So, we don't want to start something on this thing. Be professional. But I actually wrote an article.
Look at that.
So it's about FrankenCon, of course. So it's kind of the rise of FrankenCon and the making of it and stuff. So I'm really glad Brandon reached out and asked me to do that. He's been a big supporter, him and Fat Tony, of FrankenCon. So that's cool. And then this one is Scream. I think it's a UK. Is it UK?
I think so.
I think it's a UK thing. But my friend Kevin Hoover, who I also met through FrankenCon, he's a writer for a lot of these horror magazines. Obviously Scream, and I think Rue Morgue or Bloody Disgusting. He'll probably correct me. But anyway, he sent me this because I missed it in the store. But it's got a great article on Pumpkinhead.
Awesome.
And with Mr. Brian Bramer here from FrankenCon. I believe he interviews Brian, and who's been a big friend of ours, who will be at FrankenCon next year. And I mean, and it's a huge article. I mean, it's a huge article on Brian. But and I believe it happened at FrankenCon at some point.
The interview?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So those are fun. Those are things that I didn't have to pay for, and I'm gracious that they sent those to me. So,
very cool.
Yeah. What's yours?
So I think I talked about it. You made
we talked a little bit about it
again. I was on a little hiatus of not buying stuff I didn't need, and
now you're back in full force.
Back in, baby. But I knew the glare would be probably dumb, but I got me a Mr. Freeze in the mail recently.
Yeah, the old Kenner one.
Oh, yeah.
And I think the weapon, you can put real water in it, dude.
You sure can. Look at that. It's got the dude on the back doing that exact thing. But yeah, no. So I got, right now I'm up to 4, 5, 6 I'll have after the one I accidentally purchased when we were just talking.
What did you accidentally purchase?
Well, actually, no. I'll have 7 because I got Riddler coming too.
Ooh. I can't remember what that one looks like. Is it cool?
Yeah. Hold on real quick. I have another Riddler. Wait.
Oh, my gosh. The Batman animated villains were on point. I mean, the design of those villains are just the best.
What are they?
I was just trying to fill air since you left me, and I was just saying that the design of the villains on the animated show are just amazing.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. So I had a Two-Face figure from Batman Forever and my Clayface over in the corner of my room. So when I started getting the other ones that weren't, so I could put them up on the wall over there, I had to refill that spot, and I ended up getting this for super cheap.
I love Batman Forever, dude.
I mean, it's more fun than people give it credit for. Is it a good movie? No, but it's really fun.
Well, no, it's a better movie than Batman and Robin.
That's probably true. But anyway, like the Tommy Lee Jones Two-Face actually looks pretty good. I don't know about that. I don't know about this Jim Carrey. It was a little questionable. So
why don't
Kenner
you gone back and bought all these Batman animated Kenner ones? Why don't you just buy the McFarlane ones?
I could probably do both. I don't know. I saw one at the Target here the other day. And it was like $22. I also found a Toonie Terror Nosferatu, and it's like black and white.
Oh yeah.
It's really cool looking.
It's the second release, I think.
It's for something like 75th anniversary of Vampire or Nosferatu. I don't know, something it was saying on it.
Well, and Nosferatu's coming out.
Yeah, so it's timely. But if it's still there, I might go grab it because I have one spot left for my Toonie Terrors. Then I'm going to have to start opening packages to have more room for the actual figures.
Well, you still had a Christmas present coming if some asshole would ever send shit to you.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think though, I don't know how much other stuff I could get back into because like I said, I got all my horror stuff, Toonie Terrors mostly.
Just pile shit up on the floor, dude. You want me to take a video of the shit that I have? I literally have this Overlook Hotel, hold on. It's right here.
Okay.
But I've been stepping on it for months. It just lays on the floor.
Wow.
See, I'll put it right back there like it's my welcome mat. I don't know what to do with it. I bought it at Spirit.
Oh, okay.
Like 2 years ago.
I went to Spirit this last Halloween season and I bought that Chucky doll.
Yeah.
And then my dad was like, I don't want that. Take it back. So
you had to take it back?
Yeah. He's like, I don't want that in my house. I don't like
what
that.
What the fuck? You weenie.
No, him. He don't like Chucky.
Can I just mail him a package? Like not put a return address on it or anything? Mail it to your house to him? It's a Chucky. and write on the put a note, put hi, whatever his
I'm
name
watching
is.
you.
Hi, I want to play.
He's like, I hate that doll. Hate it. It's stupid. I'm like, okay. That'd be funny.
Yeah, I have spirit decorations downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Did you
Just
know
like
that?
for the.
You know that ticket booth thing they had?
Oh yeah. You were telling
Yeah,
me.
it's down in the basement.
I'm not surprised.
But you know where it might go if I can't keep it anymore?
Jason down
It
at the
might
dungeon.
move from the basement to the dungeon because our good pal Jason over at Southland Dungeon would like to have some of it, he said. So if you don't know, Jason down at the dungeon has been a good friend of ours for a long time now. And you should know who he is because he is one of the last remaining physical media stores, brick and mortar, baby. You can walk inside. If you're in the Maryville area, which is right outside of Knoxville, Tennessee, you can hit East Broadway, find that roundabout, look for Southland Books, and drive around the building. And the dungeon is right there with Jason tied up behind the counter. And you can shop for vinyl, Laserdisc, VHS, Beta, 4K, Blu-ray, 4K UHD, which I don't even know what that is, HD DVD,
Yeah.
video games, tarot cards, and all sorts of other things.
Amateur wrestler.
He does have some wrestling magazines, pretty sweet.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Definitely
if you're
wrestling TV guide with
no,
wrestling.
I have those.
I know you do.
So if you're not in the Maryville area or not going to be here, and you want to see the stuff he gets in, follow Southland_Dungeon, and you can see all the stuff that he's got. He posts it. If you see something you want, then just hit him up. He's got some really hard to find horror VHS, and he just gets some oddball stuff. And I saw somebody bought a Guar album, a vinyl record
nice.
from him today.
Yeah. Does he still have that deli counter display thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all the horror is up there.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah, man, check him out. And tell him Night of the Nerdy Laser sent you. So I guess we can get into Dead Snow 2, Red versus Dead. Woo, woo, woo.
Same way as always. Let's talk about it, and then we'll do some spoilers.
Yeah, we'll spoiler free this baby for a little bit. I was just getting to my notes here.
So same director, right?
I mean, same director, I'll say same cast, mainly the main guy. Martin, not to be confused with Martin Starr.
Mm-hmm.
But so this one was shot in both Norwegian and English, whereas the other one was just shot in Norwegian.
And then dubbed.
Yeah. And so in the last episode, I talked about, it's weird that Tommy Warkola hasn't done much in the States outside of Hansel and Gretel, but I failed to realize because I was looking at writer and director, he did not write it, but he did direct Violent Night. Did you see that movie, Jeff?
Was that the one with David Harbour?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that one. So I was getting that one confused earlier when you said that with
with the Silent Night?
Silent Night.
John Woo's?
Yeah. That one that just came out last year, 2020.
It came out same time.
Oh, okay. So I think I got that confused. But the weird thing is there was a Silent Night in 2021 with Keira Knightley.
Oh, yeah. And it's like the cover is like a family photo.
Yeah. It's got the kid that was in.
I've heard good things about it. I've heard pretty good things about it. So Tommy Wirkola directed Violent Night, and did not write it, but directed it. And then it looks like he's directing the sequel, which is in the works.
A third one? A third one?
Of what? What?
I thought you just say he's making a third film for
No, a second film for Violent Night.
Oh, gotcha.
He should be doing the sequel. I believe he's attached to do the sequel as well.
Okay. I mean, it wasn't bad.
I mean, I don't know the real reason why there's not a Dead Snow 3, but it had to be because this one didn't do as good as they wanted it to.
Right. And I bet Tommy Wirkola is he's doing bigger things now. He's not.
Yeah, I mean, that's true too. But I mean, it's been 10. So Dead Snow 2 came out in 2014. It's just a shame that we don't have like a kind of a finale to that series, even though the end of the second movie, is fine if they want to end it that way. I guess we're just so accustomed to things being in threes,
Yeah.
I have thought about, I have a book that I wrote a long time ago called Fat Trapped, and then I had a second one written, at least over halfway done, and then the file got erased, and I've just never started it again. And it was originally going to be a trilogy, and I've thought about just writing it again and then just ending it at 2, because God knows if I'll ever make a third one, if I ever could write a second one. But but we're just so accustomed to things being in threes.
Yeah.
This one basically abandons the horror aspect as far as like being a scary movie, right?
I don't think any horror. The zombies would be the only horror.
At the very beginning, maybe. I think at the very beginning it does.
With the flashbacks?
No, with the car scene, because this picks up exactly where the first one leaves off.
All right.
So for the first like 5 minutes, I think you do have a little bit of horror, but there is some comedy sprinkled in there.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Even into that scene, and I'll just talk about it's not really a spoiler, but this is the comedy that's in basically the entire movie. Like the zombies are attacking him in the car. He's trying to run away. He's got the car on. The radio gets turned on, and there's it's like dance music. So it's like really fun dance music, while irritating dance music, while these zombies are getting him. And he's got his hand like going towards the gear shift, to put it in reverse.
Mm-hmm.
And then he kind of bypasses the gear shift and turns the radio off.
Yeah.
So when that happened, I was like, okay, settle in. And then it really is. It turned. Yeah. And not saying there's no comedy in the other one. There it is, but in this one, it really goes into the comedy.
Yeah, it leans into it.
Yeah. So basically, we have this one where Herzog, the first one was about money, basically gold coins and stuff. Herzog is trying to get back to this town.
Yeah.
And
called.
Huh?
I can't remember what the town was called. But I liked how they figured it all out.
Kalvik or something, because I remember the fish.
Yeah.
So anyway, so basically, we're getting a lot more scenery in this one, as far as like they're actually going to different places. You can tell the budget is much more in this one, even though the budget in the first one is really solid. You can tell there's some money behind in this movie.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it a lot, but the first one will always be better to me. But I do dig this one a lot.
Yeah.
It's gory as hell.
It really is. They do some, man. Oh, we'll get into it in the spoiler section, because there was a few scenes I thought were kind of like good, and I'm good as far as gore, and like didn't make me hate it. So,
well, I'll tell you a scene. I'll spoil one scene. where if you think this scene is so stupid that you couldn't get past it, you will not be able to watch this movie. There's a point where they have a tank and and they need gas for it. So they rip out this zombie's intestines and stretch the intestines from the tank to the gas, and then they siphon it.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Through the intestines. So that's the comedy, though, right? Like there's a lot of that in here.
Yeah.
Especially we have a new sidekick zombie character that I think a lot of people really liked. So yeah, there's a lot of slapsticky stuff in here. I think the main guy Martin is terrific. I think he's great in this one, and he basically inadvertently gets involved with these three people that call themselves the Zombie Squad, and from America, and that's where Martin Starr comes into play. So we have a lot of variety of people.
I thought it was funny how like a little kid was talking about him too. He was just in the hospital room that guy, and he's like, "Hey, Zombie Squad will fix this. These are real zombies, right?" And it just it made me laugh because like it was funny because like they showed up, the Zombie Squad actually shows up, and it's just that guy and those two girls. But it's probably like a kid that's watching like a YouTube channel and like
no, very much so, yeah.
Thinks it's real, so it's like, oh, here we'll call them, and then it's funny because they show up and then they actually kill a few zombies, and you're like, I get it. So I mean that was a good like comedic thing.
There are some there. I mean, it's a good storyline as far as like it's. I mean, it's way different than the first one. It keeps the movie the storyline going. And I would like to see a third one. I mean, the way the second one ends, it's intriguing to me. I actually forgot how it ended, but then when the song started, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember now, because I've only seen this movie one other time.
Yeah.
Where I'd seen Dead Snow 1 like 1,000. So that's the end of the spoiler review. If you haven't seen it, I say check it out. I say if you don't have to see the first one, by the way. If you just want to watch this one, if you just want the comedy, so they do flashbacks at the beginning. And they show you everything that happens basically in the first movie, and so you won't be lost or anything.
Yeah.
So if you're in the mood for a good comedy, I think this would fit the bill. But I think you'll be more invested in the Martin character, if you watch the first one, obviously.
Yeah, I can see that. But I mean, it's not like you said. It's not a mandatory thing, and
no.
So even this one, he's so different. So
this one's much easier to see too. So if you don't want to pay for anything, watch the second one because it's on Tubi and basically everywhere else. Yep. So if you like our show, you can go to any of the podcasting sites or YouTube. Give us a follow. Give us a review. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's very important to us. And if you want to, you can email us at nightofthenerdylazar@gmail.com. And now we will go to spoiler territory. What do you want to talk about with this one?
The scene that stuck out to me, I mean, it isn't a good movie, I don't think. But I mean, that's not to say I think it's bad either. It's just, it's kind of its own thing. It's just a lot of comedy, a lot of gore, the over-the-top zombie tropes and stuff. But the gore stuff sticks out the most to me. Like they have that Nazi doctor zombie, and he's like kind of putting people back together. The whole premise, first off, the Nazi zombie doctor puts the guy's arm on the zombie, and the zombie's arm on him, right? That's what.
Yeah. I mean,
and so the guy.
That's my favorite part of the movie. Is like so. General Herzog's arm gets ripped off at the beginning, and I forgot about this in the car chase thing. And then then Herzog gets hit by a semi truck and blah blah blah. Well, they find Martin in this arm and they put it back on, and
that's a demon arm.
So he's got Satan's arm now, and it's like still evil. So
yeah, so it's like stabbing doctors. Like punching a nurse and beating up a cop.
When he walks past that black guy, and the arm is going. It's funny, man.
And then Martin's like, "No, I'm friends with you. I'm friends with you."
Yeah, I'm telling you though, the funniest part to me in this movie is where he throws the kid out the window, and then he goes to give him CPR, and he just smashes his chest in, and the blood just sprays on him, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy what they do in it. It's like so over the top. But this back to the zombie doctor thing. There's the battlefield scene where they're fighting at the end, and he breaks
puts a plunger on him.
He breaks that plunger off in that guy's leg. I thought that was pretty funny.
They could have went more over the top with that, I think, but it's fine.
I mean, it went with the Evil Dead route where it went even more comedy and slapstick than the original.
Yeah,
you could tell they're fans of it too, which is cool. I mean, it's a good movie, so Evil Dead.
I mean, I think it's for sure good. I think. There's a lot of scenes I like, but I think the movie sort of drags on a little bit. And the zombie squad, I don't think is as fleshed out as it could have been.
Yeah,
I think the two girls aren't that great in it. Like the actresses are fine, but I just think the characters aren't that fleshed out.
Yeah, you had the one that was real Star Wars nerd, and she would drop like lines from it and had the shirt on that said it's a trap and all that. What was the other girl's like main character quality, like
just nerd
kind of thing?
Yeah, I'm guessing so. It's fine, but I think they could have done a little better with the zombie squad in a way, but it's fine too. I mean, They could. I mean, I wouldn't mind a spinoff
of what?
Just call it Zombie Squad.
Oh,
and it's like them getting big and trying to recruit people and stuff.
Yeah, that would. Yeah, that would be fine.
And you could go straight up comedy with it, you know.
Yeah.
So, look, there's a lot in this movie that is worth watching. So I would for sure watch it. If any of this sounds intriguing, I don't want to ruin everything about it. The end is really cool and funny. If you've seen the first one, it probably means a little bit more. But you know, it's still funny. What do you think about the sidekick zombie guy?
Was that the like general's like admiral or whatever?
No, the blonde-haired guy that they like put underneath the car and.
We need to gain traction, and they just.
So funny.
Yeah, I don't know. That was and then he's all kind of burned up at the end or whatever.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad.
Well, I was like, who is that? And I didn't even realize it was him at first.
Yeah. It was just kind of a brainless zombie.
Yeah. So I don't know if we'll ever see another one, but I'd like to. But at this point, it doesn't really look like it'll happen. But maybe it's like those other things, you know. Violent Night's been kind of a successful movie, so maybe it's, you know,
he does like 3 for the studio, and they'll fund one that he wants to, kind of like the one James Wan did for HBO. What was it? Or for Max? You know which one I'm talking about, right?
Did one for Max?
Well, it was gonna come out, but it was coming out during COVID, so it was one of the ones that went to HBO Max. Like,
oh yeah, the Malice or Malignant.
Malignant, yeah. I don't know why I couldn't think of that.
Well, you know, I mean, it's kind of famous that you know, directors have done movies and they get funded for like a passion project, or actors even.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of actors will do movies for free if they really want to do them.
Yeah.
So anyway, maybe we'll see another one, but I'm glad to see that Tommy Wirkola is doing, you know, stuff over here. But maybe we'll get a Dead Snow. Like, I mean, it would be. I mean, I would love to get an English Dead Snow like over here. But I don't know how you would do a third one. You know, you'd almost have to do either a remake or like a Zombie Squad movie where it's not really connected to the other movies.
Yeah. It could work.
I really want to watch Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters now, though.
I think I have it. Told you I got the 4K for some reason. It was a Black Friday impulse buy. I'm positive of that.
Well, now they don't have those, so.
No.
I mean, they do, but not in store.
Yeah, not the same. It's weird going into the stores. I mean, Walmart here still has some physical media stuff, but like, I mean, everywhere else is gone. I mean, we barely had any to begin with, so.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Well, that was a good episode. We're going to do Cold Prey next week. I don't know if that's showing anywhere. I don't know if you can stream it, actually.
Yeah, that's probably maybe
You own it?
TV? Yeah, I got it somewhere. I have to go look for it.
Yeah, I have it somewhere too.
That's the problem.
Somewhere.
Neither of us want to go look for it. It's
much easier to watch stuff streaming.
You could rent it on YouTube or Amazon, it says, but
oh yeah,
yep.
Well, I remember liking it. It's been a long time since I've seen it. It's not on Tubi, so there is a movie called Cold Play.
About that band?
No.
Oh, well then I don't care.
Although, did you see what's his name? Who's the lead singer?
The guy that was married to the actor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Chris Martin.
I think so. Yeah.
He did something with Dick Van Dyke, who is still alive, and yeah, and so they were on Jimmy Kimmel, I think, or Fallon, or Seth Meyers,
one of those stupid late night shows. Yeah.
And so him and Dick Van Dyke were both there, and so Chris Martin's telling the story about how Dick Van Dyke's son, who is 76, comes up to his dad at this party. It was a party at his house. And so he comes up to his dad and he asks his dad, this 76-year-old man asks his dad if he can turn on the pool slide. And he said it was this really sweet moment between a father and son. But then you realize that both of them were collectively 176 years old. And you're like, what's happening?
Crazy.
It's pretty funny. But anyway, so we hope you enjoy the show. If you do, write us nightofthenerdylaser@gmail.com. Follow us on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook, all under Night of the Nerdy Laser. And Jeff, I did such a poor job of it earlier. Why don't you tell them what they can do that costs them absolutely nothing?
They need to go on to Apple Music or podcasts, whatever, Spotify, any of those. They need to subscribe to the show and give us a 5-star rating. It helps with the algorithms, as we say. And it's free to you guys.
That is what we say. So we also say, until next time, what should they do, Jeff?
They should keep it bloody.
Because somebody has to.